Again, saying they responded here at about 3:40 this afternoon and did find two people inside. As you said, CBS News now confirming that it is Rob Reiner. Some deaths leave people stunned, and some deaths leave someone silent because they had feared this day would come. Rob Reiner's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Two lives were lost inside their own home while police offered little more than a cold, restrained phrase, a death investigation. No details, no explanations, just a vast emptiness filled with unanswered questions. While the public struggled to piece together what happened behind those closed doors, someone from the past unexpectedly spoke up. It was Rob Reiner's ex-wife. She did not appear on camera in tears. She did not describe the scene. She did not ask why. Instead, she quietly said a single sentence, one that sent chills through many, the things people are only now beginning to talk about. I've heard for a very long time. From that moment on, rumors once dismissed as malicious began to resurface. Stories of instability within the family, of a son carrying a troubled past, and of a will that left many questioning whether it was ever truly fair. This video is not meant to deliver a verdict. It does only one thing: to piece together the fragments that after Rob Reiner's death, someone has finally dared to speak about. Let's walk through each of those fragments together. I knew this would happen sooner or later. I just didn't think it would happen now. Rob Reiner's ex-wife said those words after police confirmed that the case was no longer being treated as a vague or unexplained death. It was a homicide. On the afternoon of December 14, 2025, at approximately 3:30 p.m., Los Angeles police and fire crews were dispatched to Rob Reiner's mansion in Brentwood. When they entered the home, Rob Reiner and his current wife were found dead. Just a few hours later, a critical detail was made public. Police believe both victims suffered stab wounds, and the case is being investigated as a clear homicide. That information immediately changed how the public viewed the situation. This was no longer speculation about an accident, no longer a sudden medical emergency. This was violence, and that violence occurred inside a home long considered absolutely safe. However, the moment the case was labeled a homicide, major questions began to surface, not from rumor, but from gaps in the timeline. According to police, an emergency call led authorities to the scene. But who made the 911 call when the victims were discovered and what was seen first have not been publicly disclosed. In domestic homicide cases, this information is often crucial to reconstructing events. Here, that key piece remains withheld. Turning to the scene itself. The mansion sits on a quiet Brentwood street, an area known for its high level of privacy. When police sealed off the neighborhood, there was no chaos, no witnesses describing frantic final moments. Everything was described as too orderly, unusually so. That orderliness prompted reporters to ask a troubling question: what happened inside before everything ended? Another detail quickly surfaced in investigative reports: the home security camera system failed to provide complete data at the time of the incident. Some cameras were reportedly inactive, while others did not yield usable footage. Police have not confirmed whether this was due to tampering or technical malfunction, stating only that the available data is insufficient to reconstruct the sequence of events. And that is when the second question emerged. How does a stabbing homicide occur inside a secured home without producing a clear visual record?
Will not be releasing any information regarding who was found deceased in the residence, because that will be done by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office.
So if police confirm the case has been assigned to the Robbery Homicide Division, a move that underscores its seriousness. Yet during press briefings, details remained scarce. We are working with the scene forensic evidence and all available data sources, an LAPD official said. Some information will take time to verify. The phrase "will take time" was repeated, while specific questions remained unanswered. Where was the weapon found? What was the sequence of the stab wounds? Were there signs of a prior confrontation? None of those questions were confirmed. The absence of detail made it impossible for the public to focus solely on the crime scene. Attention began to shift backward before December 14th. And that is where a different perspective emerged, the perspective of someone who had left that house years earlier. Rob Reiner's ex-wife did not speak about cameras. She did not speak about knives. She spoke about atmosphere, about years in which, according to her, the household existed in a constant state of tension, about the feeling that a single trigger could cause everything to collapse. Some houses, she said, look peaceful from the outside, but inside, they're not. Placed alongside a stabbing homicide, missing security footage, and a 911 call whose details remain undisclosed, her words create a disturbing convergence. Not evidence, not a conclusion, but a chain of unanswered questions. If everything happened so quickly, why is there no clear data? If there was conflict, why did no one outside notice? And if this was a homicide, what happened before the knife was ever used? Police will continue their investigation, and forensic findings will eventually be released. But for now, the case of Rob Reiner and his wife raises more than the question of who did what. It forces a harder question. What was overlooked for so long that things reached this point? And from those unanswered questions, the story can no longer remain confined to the crime scene. It drifts into the past, where rumors once dismissed are now revisited in a calm, steady voice, the voice of someone who once lived there, who chose to leave, and who believed this ending was not accidental. There are names I don't need to mention, because anyone who lived in that house knows exactly who I'm talking about. After police confirmed the case was a stabbing homicide, public attention no longer remained focused solely on the Brentwood crime scene. Questions began drifting in another direction: who was closest to the family, and who truly understood what happened behind those closed doors. And the name most frequently whispered, though never officially stated during press conferences, was Nick Reiner, Rob Reiner's son. Rob Reiner's ex-wife was the first to push this suspicion beyond anonymous speculation. In her account, she did not claim to be the mother, nor did she say she ever lived with the person she was referring to. She spoke only of a young person in Rob's family, someone who, according to her, repeatedly became a major source of tension in Rob Reiner's private life. However, during the time she was still connected to Rob Reiner, the ex-wife explained that she did not witness these issues firsthand from inside the household, but became aware of them through Rob Reiner's own accounts and through rare family encounters. According to her, this was not a one-day incident or an isolated episode, but recurrent tensions in the relationship between Rob and his son mentioned repeatedly in private conversations, and leaving a visible toll on Rob Reiner's emotional state whenever he returned home. Nick Reiner has long been a familiar name to the American media. In the past, he publicly acknowledged struggling with substance abuse and mental health issues. Those periods were often described as in the past or in recovery, and the family was believed to have worked hard to keep these matters within the realm of privacy, away from public scrutiny. But according to the ex-wife, those instabilities did not simply disappear, instead leaving a lasting impact on the atmosphere and relationships within Rob Reiner's family. According to Rob Reiner's ex-wife, she did not witness these issues firsthand from inside the household. Instead, she learned about them through the stories Rob Reiner shared after each time he confronted his son. She recalled that Rob repeatedly spoke about Nick's long struggle with addiction, not a single fall followed by recovery, but recurring cycles of relapse, rehabilitation, and disappointment. Based on what Rob confided to her, Nick made multiple attempts to rebuild his life, yet continued to fail. Personal projects went nowhere. Efforts to prove himself collapsed quickly. What made everything heavier, Rob said, was the feeling of living under the enormous shadow of a famous father, where every mistake was magnified and every success was constantly compared. She